Let's start it officially. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 5th masterclass provided to you by Women for Cyber in the framework of its Masterclass with a Role Model series. Before proceeding with today's guest, a small introduction from our side. My name is Nina Hasratian, and I'm here today with my colleagues Nina Olesen and Saskia Brugman. And with our Secretary General, Luigi Rebuffi, we are the operational team behind the Women for Cyber Foundation. A few words on Women for Cyber. This is an initiative launched by the European Cybersecurity Organization to help fill the gap of cybersecurity professionals in Europe by boosting the participation of girls and women in cybersecurity professions. Through our actions and activities, we encourage the skilling, upskilling, and reskilling of both junior and senior professionals. It's very important there. Our comprehensive mission covers a very wide range of activities, so going from community building, awareness, encouraging in-company trainings, courses, and of course also reaching out to the national and European political level. We have an all-inclusive approach, basically, which is reflected in our constant work with both women and men, let's not forget men, from all sectors, so public, private, and academic. The Women for Cyber Foundation is the entity that supports our activities with the decision-making body, and the Women for Cyber Council, which is an ad hoc advisory body providing strategic recommendations to the decision-making body on the activities of the foundation. Now, this leads me to introduce you to Phédra Clouner, who is a member of the Women for Cyber Council, but also Deputy Director of the CCB, so the Cybersecurity Center Belgium, the official national cybersecurity agency, directly under the authority of the Belgian Prime Minister. If that is not high level, I don't know what is, really. Besides being an amazing professional, Phédra is the co-founder of the agency. And today we will hear about her experience in the cybersecurity world and what it means to evolve in the public governmental institutions. And as a great supporter of gender inclusion in cybersecurity, Phédra has been part of Women for Cyber from the very beginning. So she is also one of the founding members of Women for Cyber. So thank you, Phédra. Now, before proceeding forward, I'd like to highlight a few small rules to ensure that this goes as smoothly as possible. Please make sure that you are muted to avoid any background noises. Once Phédra is done with her initial comments, we will open a Q&A session for an interactive exchange with participants. If you have questions, please raise your hand through the available button and wait until Saskia or I invite you to speak. Then you can unmute yourself. Also, don't hesitate to use the chat as well, though we do encourage for a live exchange. And now, without further ado, I wish you all a wonderful and educational session. Phédra, the floor is yours.
The pressure is too hard, really. So I'm so happy to be here today. So how can I begin? So I will present myself. So yeah, as Nina said, I'm the Deputy Director of the Belgian National Cybersecurity Agency. I am 45. I have 2 children, include a baby of 2 years, and it's not easy every day. I'm a fan of Japan and Japan culture, books and science fiction, fantasy, Scandinavian and Asian and horror movies. So you have to know it's really important. So the session today will be very informal because I'm a very informal girl. So I'm sorry if you are seeking for something really formal because it's absolutely not my stuff. Maybe it will be also a little bit chaotic because I'm also a little bit chaotic, but it's a managed chaos. I can give you the assurance that it's quite managed. As Nina said, don't hesitate to ask me the questions, but maybe after the session. And the purpose of the session today is really to exchange about my experience, but also our experience. So we have all different backgrounds, so don't hesitate to react on some stuff that could be interesting and to explain what is your experience in your own sector, private or public. It could be so interesting, I'm sure. So I will begin to talk about my career. And after I will present you the different challenges that we met when we built the Belgian National Cybersecurity Agency. The challenges, but also the opportunity. And you will see it's very, very exciting. For my career, I suppose I will not surprise anyone if I say that my path is not really typical. I don't study the science, mathematics, technical stuff at the university, except 1 year. I study 1 year in agronomy, but it's a long story, and I will not tell this story today. And it's not my. It was not my stuff. I'm at the origin. I'm a kind of literary person, and I studied. I learned. Yes, my English is awful, but so history at the university. Yeah, to be more precise, ancient Greek history. Absolutely not science. Absolutely not mathematics. Absolutely not technical stuff. And I was specialized in Greek science history. Archimedes was my hero, you know. At the end of my studies, I had a choice to make, and the choice that I had was not absolutely exciting for me, because when you study history at the university, you don't have a lot of choice. You can be a teacher, and at this moment, it was exactly the stuff that I wanted to do in my life, or you can also work in a bank. You can't imagine the number of historians that you can meet in a bank at this time. It was absolutely amazing. And I didn't want to work in a bank. So, long story short, I follow my boyfriend that I had at this time. Voila. And I made an additional master in information science. It was quite a challenge for me. Because you have to know that before to begin this master, I almost never touch a computer. Never. I never touch a computer, really. And I'm not ashamed to say that when I learned history at the university, I wrote my thesis, and someone else typed my thesis in Word. It's just to say that I don't have any experience with computer at this moment. I love challenges, you will see it. It was a long time ago, and I'm not especially a digital native. As I said, I'm quite old, I'm 45, so at this moment it was quite normal. So with a lot of work and a lot of tears also, I have to confess, time after time, I learned all the bases of computer science, algorithmic database, document and information management. And at the end, I found it really, really cool. And I said, okay, I know, I think that I find my path, and I just want to work in this sector. And I began to work as IT project manager in the Ministry of Finance in Belgium. And I made all my career in the public sector. I don't have any experience with the private sector. It's more than 20 years that I work now, and I work always in public sector. Why in public sector? At beginning, because it was my first job and it was convenient, I have to say. And it was also, you know, the image of security, the public sector. It was really at the beginning, but time after time, I continue my career in the public sector just because I think that I built a kind of ideal, you know, because I received a lot of proposition from the private sector during my career, and I didn't want to, at this moment, work for the private sector, because in the public sector, really, I have the feeling that I'm really helping the citizen. And it's the reason why I continue my career in the public sector. So, as I said, I began my career as IT project manager in Ministry of Finance. And I was specialized in document management and workflow at this moment. Absolutely nothing to do with info security, information security or cyber security. And it was not easy because I was 24, 25, and I managed some of the biggest IT projects of the ministry. Just at the end of my studies, and I was a girl without any experience, and it was quite rock and roll, I have to say. And it was not so easy also to build the trust and to build the credibility because I was really young and I was a girl in the IT world. And okay, it's not a caricature, really. At the beginning, it was not easy. Time after time, I continue to work in document management and workflow, and I was specialized also in enterprise content management to manage all the life cycle of electronic documents. It becomes a kind of passion, and I focus more and more my career and my matter on information and records management with electronic archiving. And I became responsible of information management in the Ministry of Justice in Belgium. À côté, sorry for for my English. What can I say à côté in English?
Next to it, or in
Voilà.
parallel.
In parallel, I manage also some non-profit organization related to information management and records management. By example, I became the president of the Belgian Luxembourgian chapter of the International Non-Profit Organization for Enterprise Content Management. At this time, the aim, I don't know if you know this organization, it's really the big organization for all the stuff around enterprise content management, digitalization, and all this stuff. And I create and manage also the Belgian chapter of Phédra International. It's the Federation for Information Lifecycle Management, Storage, and Archiving. I gave also some lessons at the universities, but all this part of my career was nothing to do with information security. Absolutely not. But time after time, working on information management, records management, and teaching some big principle about records management, I begin to be conscious about the fact that you can work in information management, but you have also to be aware about the fact that you have to secure your information. And step by step, I begin to be really interested by information security. And when I work with all the aspects with record management, in record management, I don't know if you know, but there is a lot of importance. There is a lot of importance for some security concepts like the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the information. And of course, it's really natural to go from records management to information security, because of course the main concept of information security is to secure information and to ensure confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your information. So step by step, doucement, smoothly, I slide to information security. So a new passion was born, really. Say, oh, information, it's really interesting, but it's so interesting to secure also the information. More or less at the same time, I had a burnout, because you can be a civil servant, but you can also work 70 hours a week. I can give you the assurance that it's totally possible. And I began to think about new direction in my career. And I had an opportunity to become CISO at the Ministry of Justice in Belgium. It was really interesting for me because it was really a new challenges, because I was not specialized in information security. And there was also a lot of stuff to learn, and it's exactly the stuff that I need on a daily basis. But I discover also all the difficulties that you can meet when you are a CISO. I don't know if there is some CISO in the audience, but to be a CISO in the public administration in Belgium. I don't know if it's the same in other countries, but it could be interesting to have some information. It's really not easy. Because information security is not always the main preoccupation of the administration, because the administration have a lot of other stuff to manage, and most of the time the CISO is seen like the annoying person, you know. But I'm sure that you are totally aware about this fact. I'm not alone. I know it. And it was really difficult because the administration had the obligation to have a CISO, but they didn't really want to have a CISO. So during more than 1 year and a half, I make a lot of work at the Ministry of Justice, but it was not always totally listened. All the stuff and all the advice that I could give to the president of the ministry, because it was the Ministry of Justice, one of the most important ministry in Belgium, and with a lot of problem and stuff and challenges. So it was an interesting experience for me, really, to be in the sector of information security. But it was not totally satisfying because I didn't have the attention, and I think it's the same. It's the same in a lot of organizations. So in 2015, I seen the opportunity of my life, because I see the announcement to hire the deputy director for the brand new Belgian Cybersecurity Agency. And I see the announcements on the internet, and I said, "Oh wow, it could be so cool." It could be so cool, but it was also a little bit scary, because I read the announcement and I see a lot of stuff saying that you. Comment est-ce que je peux dire ça? There was a lot of specification in the announcements, and I didn't feel all the specifications, so I hesitate a lot before to apply to this announcement. Announcement is the right word? Oui, on va dire que oui. Because I was absolutely not convinced to feel all the specification that we met in the announcements, and it was my husband who insist a lot. I have to say, okay, you have to try, Phédra. You have nothing to lose, so try. And it was the perfect moment, because at this moment I think to take new direction in my career, and you can't imagine the kind of job that I had in my head at this moment. Really, it was absolutely not information security. I would like to, at this moment, I would like to be a teacher. I would like to have a café philo that welcomes young artists and creators. I would like to have to be I'm an image consultant, open a bookshop, a lot of ideas, you know. And so the announcement for the place, the function of a deputy director, it was exactly the perfect moment. And I decided to apply. Voila. And I was really astonished when some weeks later, the cabinet of the prime minister gave me a call to say, "Are you interested to become the deputy director of the brand new National Cybersecurity Agency?" And I said, it means yes. It was really, really, it was a big moment. I think that I jumped during around 1 week, you know, everywhere. And I was also a little bit scary because it was really new for me, and it was really new in literally, you know, because at this moment there was no Belgian cybersecurity agency at all. It was really the opportunity to build the brand new cybersecurity national agency. It's the challenge of my life, you know. Really, I can't dream another bigger stuff in my life. No, I can die, really. So I have to say also that I learned that I was chosen because I was good, but also because I was a woman. But so I don't care. Never mind. I had the position, you know. So it was the most important for me. And I had at this moment the incredible opportunity to support the director in the building of this Belgian National Cybersecurity Agency from nothing. And in 5 years, I think that we did an amazing job, because at the beginning, on the 17th August 2015, we were 2, the director and me. And a few months later, we were 3, the director, me, and our really cool and really young and really junior communicator. And with 3 people, we have to build something huge, because when you see all the mission that the official mission that we have, it's really huge. I will just say quickly all the mission that our agency has. We have to supervise and to coordinate all the actors around a Belgian common cybersecurity strategy. And this first point, it's not easy, because before we create the national agency, there was a lot of actors in Belgium working in cybersecurity, and they worked really, they made a really good job, really, but they made a job on their own, you know. It was really in silo. There was no coordination between all these actors. And when there was a cyber incident, it was really well managed, but it was really well managed in a chaotic way, because every organization, prosecutors, police, intelligence services managed the incident in their own. And so the main role of the CCB is really to coordinate all these actors. We don't have to make all the stuff alone, but we have to coordinate all the actors. And it was quite a challenge, because all this organization had the habit to work alone. And one day, 2 people, 3 later, arrived and saying, "Hello, we are there, and now we will coordinate you." Oh, you can imagine. Oh, it was difficult. It's not the exact word, so it's really the exact word. It was challenging, because it's never really easy for the actors, the existing actors, to let some power and to let some stuff to 3 people at this time. We have also to manage all the cybersecurity project of the federal government in a coherent way. And it's not easy neither, because each administration has the habit to launch their own cybersecurity project. And now we are there to say, okay, maybe we could be more efficient, and maybe we could launch some cybersecurity project in a more global and efficient way. And it's not always easy, not because they don't want to, but because they have their budget, they have their habits and all this stuff, and now they have to think in a global way, you know, about cybersecurity. We have also to coordinate, as I said, all the actors in cybersecurity, from the public sectors, but also from the private sectors and from the academic sectors. So we have really to interact with all the ecosystem, the cybersecurity ecosystem in Belgium. And the cybersecurity ecosystem in Belgium is quite important, you know, and with a lot of actors, and there is also the different level of power in Belgium. As you know, we have, I think that we are one of the smallest country in the world, but also one of the most complicated country in the world. And we have also to interact with all this complicated stuff in Belgium. We have also to propose the adaptation of the legal framework around cybersecurity. And by example, we were responsible for the transposition of the NIS directive. And at this moment, we are working also on the transposition of the Regulation Cybersecurity Act, and we play a big role in this regulation. We have also to ensure the crisis management, and I have to say that it doesn't seem, but we have a lot of cyber incidents in Belgium as in all the other countries, especially at this moment. I don't know if you have heard. Non, comment est-ce qu'on dit ça? Si vous avez entendu parler, I'm sure that you see some stuff in the media about SolarWinds, Microsoft Exchange, all this stuff, and of course we have to manage all these aspects, and we have also to protect the government. We have also to represent Belgium at international level, and we have also to inform and to make the citizen aware about the danger and the challenges of cyberspace. And you can imagine that actually all the citizens in Belgium are the targets of the CCB. When you see other agencies in other countries, they have a lot of people, but their targets are also more limited than in Belgium. But the CCB have to implement some action for all the users of internet in Belgium. At the beginning, we were just a strategical services, and the operational services was integrated in other administration. And it was absolutely not easy to manage some crisis when the operational service was integrated in other administration. So we decide also to integrate the national cert in the CCB. And after 5 years, now we are more than 50. So in 5 years, we begin with 2 people, and now we are 50. And we foreseen to be in 2024 more than 110 people at the CCB. So as you can see, we raised really, really, really quickly. What's the other challenge that we met when we implement the CCB? It was very difficult because we began on the 17th August of 2015, and with 2 people, and the Prime Minister asked us to be totally operational on the 17th August of 2015, you know. So with 2 people, we had to be totally operational. But it was not so easy because we have also at the same time to build the agency, to hire people, to prepare the budget, to organize the agency with its processes, to define the project, to launch the public procurement, to take contact with Belgian actors and other countries to build the trust, to build the contact, and also to see how it's working in other countries. So at the same time, we have to build the agency in a really concrete way, but we have also to be operational and to begin to fill all the mission that we have and that we explained to you. Comment dire? We did it. Voilà. I just can say the fact that, okay, we did it. We are a little bit exhausted, but we did it. And time after time, we begin to launch some really big projects to protect the Belgian cyberspace. And I will explain later some projects that we built with not a lot of people. And we developed the agency really, really quickly. And at this moment, since 5 years, we are a kind of startup, you know. We are really, really creative. So creative, really. We are really dynamic. We are really flexible also. We have also some incredible colleagues. And I see in the attendees one of my colleagues, Rosie. Salut. A lot of young high potential, a lot also of incredible specialists who love to work at the CCB, even if we can't offer the same condition than in the private sector, because it's also a challenge as a national agency. You know, we are not the private sector, and we can't give the same amount of money to people than in the private sector. But malgré ça, we hired some more incredible people, and now with 50 people, we do so many stuff. It's really amazing. And one of the challenge that we met also is the fact that as we raised really quickly, and as we begin with 2 people, and in really a really quick time, we go to 50 people. It was also a challenge for us to adapt our process with the raising of the people, you know, because it's not the same to manage 2 people or 3 people and to manage 50 people. So it was also one of our a challenge that we met these last years. Maybe it could be interesting to explain some actions that we make for our different targets. Is it interesting for you? Oui, allez, on va dire que oui. Thank you, Nina. Because as I said, our target is every citizen in Belgium. It's the private sector, it's the public sector, it's the operator of essential services and critical infrastructure, but it's also the citizens. So we have to launch some actions for all these actors, and we have also to communicate to all these actors in an appropriate way. We know, you know, and of course you don't. Comment dire, you don't communicate in the same way with the citizen and with some IT people of an administration of a company. And we launched some big project, like, by example, an early warning system. And the early warning system, it's an amazing system who allowed to share information about threats, about incidents with really targeted public, you know. By example, if there is some threats against hospitals or against, I don't know, transport or this kind of stuff, we can give the information in a very targeted way to the sector who can be a victim of incidents. We manage also, it's really important, I think so. We have also a lot of information for public administration, because as I said, I worked during a long time in public administration, and as I said also, information security is not always the main preoccupation of the public administration. So we decide also to help in a very specific way the public administration, and we give them some free trainings that the CCB pay. to train all the people in the administration, in the public administration, to help them to be more secure. And for us, it's really important, and we have a lot of so good results, because in 3 years, by example, we train more than 1,000 civil servants. We have also some big action for the citizen, and we organize some big awareness campaign every year to help the citizen to protect themselves against the danger of the internet. And we have also a really interesting project. It's called BeFish, and it's an amazing project, because we encourage the citizen to send us all the suspicious mail that they received, the suspicious phishing mail that they received. And by example, in 2020, we received more than 3 million suspicious mail from the citizens. And now the citizens more and more know how to react against phishing mails. And with all the mails that we receive, by example, we have the possibility to block the website at the origin of the phishing mails. And it's really interesting. And we have a lot of, it's not the purpose to talk about all our action, but really we have so targeted action for all the actors that in 5 years, the Belgian position in the most secure European countries is improving and improving each year, you know, and it's really interesting. And I think, and okay, I can be proud. I think so. I think that it's our fault that Belgium is more and more secure. In a really personal, I talk a lot, but so, okay. I'm sorry. I have a lot of stuff to do and I don't have a lot of time. So I think that we have also the chance to have an incredible creative and comment dire, the director of the CCB, it's a real creative person and it's really a dreamer, you know, and it's thanks of him that we could do all the stuff that we do at this moment. But I have to say also that even when I answered to the announcement for the position, for me, it was so sexy and so glamorous to work in cybersecurity. And I imagine myself, you know, like a kind of superhero with the cape and all this stuff. Most of the time, it's the case, but not always. Really not. Because yes, there is so sexy stuff to do in cybersecurity. There is a lot of wonderful project to launch. There is a lot of discussion at political and European level with ENISA, by example, because I am a national liaison officer for the ENISA and also alternate board member. It's really cool also because you can see how to help our different targets. You have to take a lot of decisions, sometimes difficult, to define some policies, to answer to political level, to communicate to our different targets with the media, with international actors. You have the possibility to be interviewed. Oh, it's so cool to go on the television and all this stuff. You have also to follow some serious incidents, and you have a lot of chance because I have to say that at this moment, it's quite intense because we have a lot of incidents to manage. And I was really at this point to be not present today at my own masterclass because there is a lot of emergency to manage. There is also some interesting stuff because we have to coach and to follow projects and colleagues. but there is also some stuff that are absolutely not glamorous. Tellement pas. Vraiment. Tu rigoles, toi.
Of course. I know the behind the scenes.
Yes, exactly. Behind the scenes, exactly. And I have also to learn on my own, par moi-même, on my own,
Sure.
a lot of stuff that I didn't wait for learn to, you know. By example, I have to define and manage budget for the CCB. And I hate to manage budget. Really. It's absolutely not my stuff. And at the beginning, I didn't know anything about budgets at all. So, sur le tas, I have to learn a lot of stuff about cybersecurity, but also about all the stuff that you have to do to manage an agency. And I have also to manage all the stuff linked with human resources management, of course, hire people, define the profiles, evaluate people, and all this stuff. It's really interesting, but it was not absolutely not my stuff at the beginning neither. So I learned also a lot of stuff for this kind of stuff. We are really polyvalent at the CCB. And in 5 years,
when you have small organizations, right? You have to build it all on your own.
We have to everyone in the CCB have to do everything. You have to be a project manager. You have to know, oh, is it with public procurement? You have to. It's amazing, but it's also the reason why working at the CCB it's absolutely amazing. You know, because you do all you can imagine. You do it at the CCB. By example, okay, I prepare the budget. I'm working on human resources, but I'm working also on logistic, and I had to organize the moving of the CCB, by example. It was the less glamorous stuff of my life to do, organize a moving. And organizing the moving was to think about all the aspects that you can have in your head. It's to think about the securization of the building. It's to think about the furniture that you want to order and all this stuff. So cybersecurity, it's absolutely amazing, really. Managing an agency, but I think it's the same for all the organization. You know, at the moment when you have a management position, it's not absolutely incredible funny every day. But I didn't know it, and I discovered it. And it was quite a surprise. And sometimes I take off my cap, you know, and I do the budget of the CCB.
Yeah, you know what? Looking at his face, I feel like Luigi also hates doing the budget of EXO. So, and I feel like Nina can also concur. We know Luigi's mood whenever he has to deal with EXO administration. Phédra, I feel like there are still already a few questions being lined up in the chat, so maybe we can start taking them. But thank you so much for these comments and making cybersecurity sexy and glamorous. I love the idea. Really, it's such a huge step from the usual vision people have of cybersecurity. You know, like technical and boring and this dark thingy. But it's great. And you know what? Listening to you, I am very proud to be Belgian. So thank you so much. Okay, before now we open the Q&A, but and as I said, there are already a few questions lined up in the chat. But before that, I feel like Luigi wants to say something, correct?
Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Phédra, for your description of your life. Maybe I would have liked, to hear one day of your life, not because you've been very general on the topics, and one day of your life, like mom, because you've seen the background, your business, especially how you manage to do the two things together. But before giving this reply to this question, I wanted to underline what you said. We are a kind of startup. Actually, we all, even in Women for Cyber Foundation, but also in EXO, we all in this cyber world, we are a kind of startup. Actually, we have to do everything, as you said, sometimes even worse than just doing a budget, and you know it, doing coffee, photocopies, and so on. Or I don't say other thing. So really, we are a kind of startup. Try to be open to do everything. And I was reading one of the comments in the chat that would say maybe we women we tend to underestimate our capability and so on. It's not only about women, I would say. This is really about cybersecurity. I think there's such a new domain that be a man or a woman, we really are a bit scared of what is people are expecting from us. It's a really new world. So maybe women are more, how would I say, serious. They take it too seriously than men, and so they're careful in jumping in. But definitely is not. We think it's not easy, but as you, Phédra, you have shown, is doable. And actually, what we are doing every day, also in our organization, we just inventing what should be done. Nothing is written. You just have to invent and listen to the other suggestion and so on. So please jump in. Don't hesitate. You can do it. And also, I would say something that Phédra, well, you have seen her character, very open, very transparent, very competent at the same time, very serious when she needs to be serious. But also, it's a pleasure to discuss with Phédra, because we can really, we need people like her to be open-minded, to go beyond what is the aspect of things. Sometimes, with my people, together with Nina and the others, we do together kind of brainstorming, and simply because we need to see, you have to open up mind to people and try to make certain impossible or unexpected relationship, like we were discussing with certain people, what is the relationship between cybersecurity and Picasso? That's kind of incredible thing. But if you think a little bit, so you can come up with ideas, and I've seen that women are much clever than men in bringing up links, well, impossible links, which are non-real links, but anyway, ideas which could develop other ideas, and you develop more and more and more. And this is really something that is needed, I think, in cybersecurity. This kind of approach, which is looking behind the simple object, the simple issue, and look what is behind, and try to discover the reason or unexpected reason why certain thing has been done, certain attacks have been done, and so on. So I think this is very valuable.
Thank you so much, Luigi. It's a very important lesson indeed to keep in mind working in cybersecurity, an open-minded mentality and being creative. That's very important. Now, okay, we can move to the questions. I know that the 2 questions that have been sent to everyone, but I have received a series of questions privately in the chat from Camilla. She's from Sweden, and it seems that Sweden has published their own announcements to create their own cybersecurity agency, correct? Maybe Camilla, you can come forward and ask directly your questions about the concrete steps of building a cybersecurity agency at the national level to Phédra. Hello? No, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I think she can't talk, so you're gonna have to read the question, Nina.
Oh,
right?
Okay, sorry. All right, so there are a series of questions. So first one is, how do you build a center smarter and faster in the future? Then what collaboration is there between the European countries, the European Union countries? Then she says that she sees a lot of different homepages that are built by several cybersecurity centers. Would it be possible to collaborate and build something together, like a homepage for security awareness? And then finally, how many people work at the CCB today, while you started with 2 people?
Okay, so I will just question by question because too many questions. So the first one was?
I need to scroll up now. That was tricky. Where is it again? How do you build a center smarter and faster in the future?
I'm not sure I well understood the question. Can you precise the question?
She's going to type it. Well, let's go to the next question between in the meantime. So what collaboration is there between the European Union countries?
There is a lot of collaboration at this moment. At the beginning, the collaboration was quite comment dire, artisanal, crafted. Homemade, exactly, because there was the director and me, and we took some contacts with the countries around Belgium, and we took, by example, contact with France, and we arrived at the NC with the 600 people of the NC, and we were 2. It was so funny. Bonjour. We are the Belgian National Agency, and we ask some questions to understand how they work. And they give us, there is, as I said, our director is really creative and it's an amazing dreamer, absolutely incredible. But we pick also some ideas in other countries, you know, to build the Belgian Cybersecurity Agency. And we have some contact with the ANSI. We have also some contact with the Luxembourg, because the Luxembourg is really, really active in cybersecurity. And by example, we share with some countries, Luxembourg, but really soon also with the France, some specific application. By example, at the Luxembourg, they develop an amazing tool for risk management, for information security. And Monarch, I love Monarch. It's the most amazing tool in the world, more or less. And we share this tool with them, and they give us this tool, and we begin to implement this tool for all the federal administration. And we have also a real concrete memory of understanding with the Luxembourg to exchange best practices around cybersecurity. For all the aspect GRC, but also for the aspect linked with the MISP, by example, because Luxembourg is really, 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 really amazing with the MISP stuff. So we have also some collaboration at this point. And as I said, it was homemade at the beginning, but 2 years ago, we welcome at the CCB 2 incredible international relations manager, and step by step we become more and more professional in our way to manage the relation with the other countries. And at this moment now we are really organizing some bilateral meetings with the countries, when we exchange the way we are working, but when we see also the way we can exchange some information about the cyber threats. And it's really important, of course, because we are all victims of the same kind of cyber threats. So at this moment, we are really thinking, and we are really working on really operational collaboration and around the cyber threats and the incidents that we can meet, and also the stuff that we can share, because at the beginning the CCB was on demand, you know. We ask a lot of stuff to other countries because it was the beginning, but time after time, the situation is changing. And now there is really at the same exchange of best practices and experience at the same level. And when we see the evolution in 5 years, it's absolutely amazing, because really the CCB, it's well known at this moment at an international level, because we have some amazing technical people at the CCB, and we did a lot of really interesting stuff for the community, and we built a trusted network with a lot of countries. And it's really interesting to see how it's evolving at this moment.
Thank you, Phédra. I believe, Camilla, if you agree with me, she also answered your third question about building something together, right? So I'm sure that we will see a deepened cooperation between Sweden and Belgium in the future as well. As for the last question, was how many people work concretely today at the CCB?
At this moment, we are 50.
50. And you mentioned in your initial comments that you were expecting to raise 200 by 2024, correct?
Well, exactly. We foreseen 110 people in 2024.
Wow.
Because we have a lot of ideas.
This is so cool. Okay. Thank you, Phédra. Maybe we can proceed with the other questions. Camilla, I hope that we managed to answer all your questions. Yes? Okay, Saskia, please tell me, what else do we have? Hey.
The first question in the group is from Sandra Denkian. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. I don't know if you want to come forward and ask your question to Phédra.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Sandra Denkian. I'm not sure if you are hearing myself well. And I was impressed by Phédra when she said, okay, we have a lot of stakeholders, or a lot of people involved, and there's a lot of initiative, and I feel all the power going and the enthusiasm going in the direction and so on. And I was wondering, how do you put your priorities? How do you choose your fights?
I know. No, I'm kidding. It's a really good questions, because put some priorities in cybersecurity. It's really difficult, because when you have a list of 1,000 priorities, you know, there is 1,000 other priorities that's added to the first 1,000 priorities. So it's, I don't think about the way I put I give my priorities. It's an interesting question. Thank you to ask the question. No, but really, you know, my day, all my day are so different, because it doesn't you think the opposite, but I'm really organized. On le voit pas comme ça, mais soit. And every day I put a list, a list of stuff that I have to do. And every day I don't make any stuff on my list, you know, because there is a lot of emergency that arrived, and it's really difficult to it's really difficult to make some priorities. I know that there is some priorities because there is some legal obligation, and so it's the first stuff that I have to respect. It's the legal obligation. It's also the question that we received from the cabinet, because as Nina said, our boss is the Prime Minister. So we can't say, oh, no, Prime Minister, I don't want to do it. No, we can't. And there is also some obligation at the European level. And at this moment, we have a lot of obligation at the European level. And it's a lot of priorities that we have to fill. But the priority, of course, is to help, by example, a critical infrastructure of an operator of essential services when there is an incident. When there is an incident, we let all the stuff, we take the cape, and we will save we will try to save the critical infrastructure of the organization, the operator of vital interest, as we call them, to help them to fight the incidents.
Thanks a lot for sharing your idea to keep the focus on this challenging world. Thank you, Phédra.
Thank you, Phédra. There is another question in the group chat from Anna. Oh no, sorry, from Alessandra Tirico.
But I think Alessandra has left the chat, so maybe we can just ask her question.
Yes, the question is, how was the CCB involved in the management of the COVID pandemic? Great question.
Alors, as all the organization, I think so. It was really, really, really difficult. We stay really close to our collaborators, of course, but we have to reorganize, of course, all our work processes. But I think we do. How can I answer the question? We do our best, actually. And by example, there is some colleagues that I didn't see since 1 year. And we organize really regularly meeting with the colleagues, and structural meeting, but also ad hoc meeting to follow the job that they do. And at this moment, it's working, but it becomes more and more difficult. I don't know how is it in your organization, but I feel that in the CCB, it's more and more difficult to stay focused and to motivate our people in this pandemic situation, because as I said, we are a kind of startup. We had a lot of direct contacts of exchange. We had a lot of contact to exchange ideas in a very dynamic way, and it's, of course, it's really difficult to have this same kind of dynamics in this situation. So we do our best, really, and we are really present. Comment dire, présent? We are there for our colleague, of course, but in a really structural way. I think that it's the same than in other organizations. We do our best, but it's working because we manage a lot of incidents past year, and it's working. And we didn't lose anyone, I think so. I can't. No, okay, they are all there. But it's not easy, and there is some people. It's more difficult for some people than for other people. I have to say, and it's our job also as manager, Miguel and me. Miguel is the director, to be attentive to our people, and to notice when there is some problems. But it's really an ad hoc way to manage it. I don't know if how is it working with your organization, if it's the same. But okay, I will be really happy when it will be over, you know.
I feel like it's a shared opinion here, but yeah, it's actually a very interesting question to the participants. Maybe you could write in the chat how is the situation in your own organizations? How are you dealing with the COVID and the augmented digital setting because of the pandemic. Thank you, Phédra. A very quick follow-up question on this topic. What was the role of the CCB in handling the COVID pandemic nationally? And what's the relation with the other ministries? Well, the SPF, but in English ministries.
Alors, we play an active role. Why? Because we observed the fact that there was a lot of cyber threats linked with the COVID. There was a lot of, by example, phishing mails with COVID subjects. So we have to manage it, and we have to aware people about this danger, and to inform people about this kind of danger. We have a specific website. It's safeonweb.be, and it's especially for the citizen. And we have also some different way to communicate with Twitter, with Facebook, and with the press also, the media. And there was also some malware linked with the COVID. So we had also to make some concrete action to fight and to share information with other countries about this malware. So there was an impact of the COVID situation on cybersecurity in Belgium, and we were totally aware about it. And we work because, okay, I speak a lot about the CCB, but as I said, the CCB doesn't do all this stuff alone, and we work in a really close way with the different sectors. We work in a very closely with the private sector, directly or via the Cybersecurity Coalition. We work a lot with the other countries via the official channels, but not only the official channels, the European channels, but also some operational groups that exist and that are really, really efficient to exchange information. We worked also with the intelligence services, and we have also our early warning system to publish the information about the cyber threats, and especially linked with the COVID, to the right organization and the right person.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, I think that COVID has affected everyone, but especially everyone in cybersecurity because of because everyone going digital at the same time, right?
Yeah.
There is another question in the chat group from Anna. I don't know, Anna, if you would like to ask your question directly to Phédra. If not, I'll read it.
Yes, no, it was more of a remark because I'm attending from some time to time events about women in cybersecurity, and that mention technical facts that are also heard here. But I think it's kind of sad that quite often we hear that women should target position like we require softer skills than programming or doing mathematics, for example. And by those professions, those kind of job, for example, manager of, extra. Those are good, but there are also the technical aspects that are important and that is lacking of women, and both men and women in programming, in mathematics for cybersecurity are, how can I say, just wish for more balance in gender. And that should be part of the discussion too.
If I well understood the questions,
it's more a general remark that
okay.
That saying, yes, technical things are also for women, and also you're very welcome. You can do it, and please do.
But just to jump on your remarks, we have, by example, at the CCB, we have a lot of women, really. But we have to say that for the really technical profile, it's especially men. Our cyber analyst and our cyber expert I think that we have 2 women in the really technical profile. All the others are men. But by example, we have women we have a lot of project manager women. We have international relations. We have women in international relation, in communication, and all this stuff. But it's true for technical stuff. It's especially men.
And I think that that's, for me, it's kind of sad. I just can say from my own experience, because in my studies I did technical things for cybersecurity, and one thing that really was difficult as a student, I mean female student, is because I saw a lot of, there is a tendency from my male followers to kind of brag or show off the technical skills, and me, I was just left insecure and frightened because I didn't know how to do this technical stuff in Linux. And it took me a long time to be reassured and say, hey, I can do it too. It's not, if I spend a bit of time, I can do it. And that's something I wish would be taught more to those girls in those studies, or who want to do some more technical things.
No, definitely. And of course you can do it. You're a woman, and as a woman you can do it. And actually, Anna, there was a comment from another participant who replied to you, but they did it privately to me. Michelle, would you like to say what you wrote in your comments directly to Anna? No? Okay. Well, I will read it. Michelle said, don't get discouraged by people who tell you that women should focus on soft skills. Women are as good as men when it comes to technical stuff, but unfortunately, they are still underrepresented at the university level and beyond in the cybersecurity domain. It is, in fact, a sad reality. And but I'm proud to say that as Women for Cyber, yes, we do encourage women towards soft skills as well, but it's more about raising awareness about the fact that there are also positions linked to soft skills in cybersecurity. It's not all technical stuff, but we are also encouraging indeed more girls and women towards STEM education or cybersecurity related education and professions. It is quite an important message. And yes, Sandra, indeed. Thank you. And I do hope that you find some good support and like-minded people in the Women for Cyber community, Anna, because at the end of the day, don't forget you're not alone. And there is a huge bunch of women behind your back whenever you feel alone.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any questions? Any other questions?
I have a question if no one else
Go ahead, Saskia.
wants to ask something. Phédra, I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned before that when you applied for the position as a deputy director at the CCB, you didn't feel all the requirements for the application, right?
Absolutely not.
And someone else mentioned in the chat that sadly is a reality that a lot of us, we feel like we need to feel all the requirements, like we have to fit in a specific position 100%, otherwise we would not apply to it direct or at all. So I wanted to ask, well, there are 2 questions. One is, I'm assuming that you're going to encourage everyone to apply to whatever position you feel like you want to apply, right? Whether you have all the requirements or you do not. But the other question is, how do you, you said that you also work with human resources for the CCB. How do you, in order to prevent that from happening, are you doing something from the recruitment area to not discourage women for applying for those positions at the CCB?
If I well understood the question, it's do I do something to encourage women to apply to the CCB?
Yes, well, let me rephrase it. You mentioned that sometimes we do not apply to positions because we don't feel all the requirements.
Right.
So is there something that the CCB does to prevent that from happening?
Absolutely. By example, when I hire some people, we have a kind of principle at the CCB. We don't need someone who is filling all the stuff that there is in the description de fonction, the profile. We really seeking the, comment dire, even in French I can't. So la promesse le potentiel, the potential. Voilà. Merci, le potentiel. We are really seeking the potential of the people that we are hiring. We hired at the CCB. If you don't know, by example, all the different aspects of the NIS directive. It's an example because NIS directive, it's so hot in Belgium and everywhere. It's not a problem. You can learn, you know. And if it's not because you are not totally, you don't feel totally the stuff that that I wrote most of the time in the profile, that you can't learn the stuff that we need later. And it's really important, really. Because we hire a lot of really junior profile at the CCB, really. And we hire also a lot of senior profile. And at the CCB and in my past life also, you know, and because I had also a big service at the Ministry of Justice, and I don't always have the most amazing experience with the senior profile who fill all the stuff in the profile, you know. Absolutely not. But we had so amazing surprises with really junior profile or profile that didn't fill all the stuff in the description de fonction. Bref, the function, voilà, vous appelez ça comme vous voulez.
The job ad.
Merci. So it's not, but it's a problem also because as a Belgian public administration, we have to follow some really psycho-rigid rules. So, it's recorded, zut. And there is a special agency in the public administration, and they have a lot of really psycho-rigid rules. So we have to respect these rules, but when there is some latitude, we use the latitude, you know, to hire the most the profile with the most potentiality. So we take it. But by example, if we have to hire a really technical profile in forensics and all this stuff, we don't ask to fill all the characteristics, but you must have a technical profile, of course. But we offer also training politics, really interesting. We hire a lot of junior profile from the universities. They don't have all the technical knowledge that they have to that they must have, and we offer some really high level training for all our people because it's really important for us. And it's a training like a SANS training, 2 or 3 a year, you know, because for us, it's so important to train our people every time. So if you have a technical profile, but you don't have all the specification of the profile, okay. But if you are motivated, it's really important.
What an amazing message, Phédra. Thank you so much. And I feel like this entire masterclass has been very inspirational because, as you promised at the beginning, you do love challenges. And
Yeah.
and you have taken and overcome every single challenge that has been come to you in your life. And this is very inspirational and really worthy of a role model. And I hope that the participants who followed the masterclass today share my opinion. I really love the elements in your speech as well, when you mentioned also the big range of possible positions that you went through when you entered the digital world, all the way up to as deputy director of the CCB, and I hope that it also gives some ideas to our participants here. Unfortunately, we need to stop here because we are running short of time. But if you have any further questions for Phédra, please don't hesitate to send them to us at hello@womenforcyber.eu. And we'll be happy to forward them to Phédra, who, in between 2 crises and in between running to 2 places, she could reply. Yeah. Please, Phédra, don't work 70 hours a week. We do not want you to have another burnout. But you kind of like slipped over that topic, but I feel like it's also a very important topic, and it's quite important to keep in mind that nobody is safe from a burnout. So it's good to work, it's good to be passionate about the topic. And honestly, I'm one of these people who says, do as I say and not as I do, but don't overwork yourselves. And I'm not saying this because my boss is listening, not at all. Yeah, but no, at the end of the day, our health is really important because we need to be healthy in order to do our jobs well as well. So on these wise words, I would say thank you everyone for following this masterclass. Don't hesitate to follow us on our social media channels. We are present on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. We also have a LinkedIn discussion group called Women for Cyber, which gathers a community, and it is an open discussion forum. So again, for those of you feeling alone, once you join that group, you will not feel alone anymore. So please don't hesitate to join. And I think this is about it. Yes, of course, don't hesitate to visit our website, womenforcyber.eu. Phédra, thank you so much again for your time and really enlightening comments. And let's all make cybersecurity sexy again, all together.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much for all the incredible women who were present today. Thank you, and men also, Luigi. Of course. Thank you. Bye-bye. And
bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
If you have some question, really don't hesitate to ask me the question. I'm always available for questions. Voilà, voilà.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Au revoir.
Bye.